Marriage is labyrinthian on its best days. Even the purest of love stories are infested with idiosyncrasies, the most stable of households flush with fabrication. In order to excavate my experience, I had to first make peace with Hal's humanity and mine. I had to give myself the space to remember him without forgetting, to love and loathe with the same level of compassion, to forgive us both by looking deeper into the story with equal parts celebration and criticism. Most ex-wives cannot write this book because their ex-husbands are still alive. It is because of them I was able to write this, because they were brave enough to leave when I wasn't. Months before Hal was diagnosed with terminal cancer, he got the following words tattooed on his arm. Rather than love, than money, than fame, give me truth. And this book is mine. Because contrary to what women are conditioned to think, our truth is not a betrayal, but an opening. It's safe here. Come inside. Part 1. Chapter 1. Cancer Season. The stoplights are out on Wilshire and all along San Vicente, approaching Cedar Sinai. I am driving with my hazards on so the cars behind me don't honk. Hal is seated next to me, padded with pillows, so the seatbelt doesn't press against his abdomen. I learned this trick after my C-section when our twin daughters were in the NICU after being born 6 weeks premature. It was mid-September, and while I was discharged 4 days after their birth, they were not. For a week and a half, we spent our days driving back and forth between home and hospital. Hal in the driver's seat, me as his passenger, and every time we hit a pothole, I would wince. Careful, I'd say. Slower, I'd say. Look out for the bump. That was the summer of 2011. I was in excruciating pain, but the stoplights were working. It was hot, but not record-breaking. And my pain was temporary. Most pain is temporary. Now it is July of 2018 and nothing is working. The muted voices on public radio tell us the heat this week is record-breaking. I imagine whatever supreme being who controls the weather shattering literal records one by one against the edges of dusty furniture, pieces of vinyl like broken glass under our feet. All words mean more than one thing. Usually, when the lights go out at major intersections, there are traffic directors in green vests and sturdy hats. They stand in the middle of the road with their white gloves and tell you when to stop. But not today. Today, we're alone. Just the two of us and a pile of broken records. I slow to a stop at every blinking light, wait for my right-of-way, and accelerate through each intersection carefully so as not to discomfort Hal more than I have to. I drive fast enough so I'm not cut off by everyone who doesn't have a terminally ill husband and debilitating pain sitting shotgun in their minivan, slow enough so that he doesn't feel the bumps beneath us. But he does. He feels every break and thump, every lurch and snag, and everything I do is wrong. The car is either too hot or too cold. I am never driving the right speed. And now, on top of everything, the lights aren't working. Hal's eyes are closed. He wears a mask over his mouth as a precaution against his compromised immune system, even though the doctors tell him there's no need. He turns the music all the way down. It's only been 10 days since his diagnosis and everything hurts now, including favorite songs. I hold on to his hand and he smiles the way people do when they don't want you to know they don't want to. And then I do the same thing I've done every day since Hal's diagnosis. I pull my belly in as tight as I can and hold my breath. I tell him I love him, and he nods the way people do when they want you to know that they know. I love you too, baby, he whispers. He opens his eyes and looks at me. For a moment, it feels like we're the only two people left in the world. And then the car behind us honks its horn. It happened like this. One day he was fine. The next day, he was dying. We were barely speaking when his first symptoms appeared. Our marriage in shambles,